Where's Curtis? You're supposed to know where he is.
I don't know.
Well,
Well,
the next time.
Well, this is a Christmas movie unlike any other.
Chris, look out!
Merry Christmas, superfans! Thank you for joining us on this episode. We are so pumped to bring you one of the greatest, iconic Christmas films of this generation, celebrating 30 years this year. Of course, I'm talking about Home Alone, starring Macaulay Culkin, Catherine O'Hara, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, and the beloved John Candy.
Polka King of the Midwest.
This is a classic Chicago John Hughes produced film. Now we have geared up for this holiday Christmas Beyond the Backlot episode. We got lights in the car, the crew is getting decked out in Christmas wear. We're gonna be hitting as many spots as we can and bringing this Christmas spirit, because this film represents all that we know and love about the Christmas spirit.
Hubbard Woods, y'all!
Sanitized Claus.
I'm the COVID cause now.
You're Santa Claus. Welcome to Hubbard Woods Park right here in downtown Winnetka, which served as the downtown for Kevin's home. And really, this is a really unique spot because this is where everything took place, that whole scene of Kevin running away from the policeman. So you had the ice rink right under there, under that gazebo that was built. And then right across the street, of course, is the pharmacy. This is pretty cool because these are the three trees that Kevin runs through as he's running away from the cop. It's kind of cool that they're 30 years older and 30 years bigger. Look at that. Now, I gotta say, as a super fan, this is pretty awesome because this is one of those spots where everything's right here. You don't have to go to a bunch of different locations. They had the opportunity to shoot it all right here in the same spot. And this is where our journey begins. And it's where Kevin got into a little hot water right over here at the pharmacy.
How may I help you?
Is this toothbrush approved by the American Dental Association?
A lot can happen in 30 years because we know this was the pharmacy, but it was also a Panera Bread, and now just 3 years ago it's become Graeter's Ice Cream. And there's a lot of things that happen in this pharmacy that kind of start to build a lot of the motion of the movie, because this is where Kevin once again runs into Mr. Marley, gets a little spooked, you know, and I'm sure his concerns about the American Dental Association would ring true now because, gosh, it's an ice cream shop filled with tons of sweet things. And even though a lot has changed, I want to show you something that we at least know where one key moment happened over here. We know this was the entrance because of where Kevin comes in and ultimately where Kevin goes out when someone finally says, "Hey!"
Jimmy, stop that
He's on the phone right now, trying to land us some sort of entry into the Home Alone house, which no one has been in for quite some time. Hoping this happens, because we've had the privilege of being inside, being in the area of the Goonies home, which no one has been allowed to for a while. We had the privilege of being on property at Marty McFly's house, which people usually abuse that privilege. And now, as always, we're wanting permission, because these are where people live and their homes are, so that we get to go in, see it from an angle that most people don't get to see it from. So,
Sounds like it's a no. No.
Well, this is a Christmas movie unlike any other. I mean, think about all the Christmas movies that you watch, but from Thanksgiving till Christmas Day, Home Alone is on repeat. And of course, we love all the hard-hitting moments on the Wet Bandits. The truth is, it really comes down to a story of a kid really just wanting his family back home at Christmas. This is the square where Kevin found Santa Claus. In fact, I'm right here where Santa's workshop would have been. And we're honestly in this little square right here, we're just a few blocks away from where the pharmacy was, where Kevin slides across the ice. And in fact, right here, X marks the spot. This is where Kevin stands in front of Santa Claus's car. And Kevin just wishes for the one thing that he could have back this Christmas, and that's his family.
Would you please tell him that instead of presents this year, I just want my family back?
Okay, we've been down into here. I think we're gonna find the Home Alone house right up here on our, oh, there it's peeking through the trees. Yes, this is so cool. It's right here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna, you know what, let's pull up and let's park right here. We're parked right here and you can kind of see, if you just look over there, obviously there's no garage there anymore. That's gone. I think it's okay to say it looks a lot smaller, actually, than the movie makes it. So we're here, the McAllister home from Home Alone. Oh my gosh. You know, this is one of those most sought after locations for fans, for super fans like us. And you just kind of get a scope of the whole neighborhood, the street, you know. Obviously this stuff wasn't here, and rightly so. Kind of just takes us back to that whole thing about people respecting it. I'm sure if people respected this house, they wouldn't have to put up an iron fence and a gate. But this is the home of the McAllisters, and it's different now. It doesn't have the turnaround like it did before. Right here where the pizza dude rammed right through to here. When you're in this spot, you get kind of the whole 360 feel, because, you know, now you see the telephone pole and the electrical pole where things kind of got shorted out and obviously made them late for the plane. You got the neighbors across the street, another victim of the Wet Bandits. I mean, it's all right here where everything took place for Christmas. They turned the sprinklers on. Oh man, in the rain. Merry Christmas, everybody. Just for the record, they turned the sprinklers on us. We did our best. We did our best to ask permission, and then we showed up and.
Well, maybe we should emphasize that we never broke. We stayed on public property.
Yeah.
We should emphasize that.
Yeah, we didn't break any laws. We even had a permit for this town, right, Chris?
Yeah.
That sounds like a no. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, guys,
Hey, shoot anywhere.
we did our best. But hey, there's the Home Alone house. It's not going to steal our joy. Not at all. It's what we do. Now here in Wilmette, Illinois, in front of the Trinity United Methodist Church, which served as the exterior for the church scene. So I'm just going to take you on a real quick walk here down the sidewalk that Kevin himself would be walking down. This is on the side street of the church. So a couple unique differences. Obviously there's no snow on the ground. But what's beautiful is you get all these fall colors right now this time of year. And the other thing that you don't notice in the movie is how busy this street is. I mean, it is like, there's like a 5-street intersection and it is non-stop. So I would imagine for a lot of the filming, they had to shut it down or at least not even use any of the natural sound. But as you can see here, I'm walking step in step with the church. And this would be Kevin's path, walking this way and then ended up where we ended up, right through here. Now, right here, right in this area, you had kind of the nativity scene where Kevin ducks into, dodging the wet bandits, making their way around the corner. But it's also the location where Kevin comes back to at night. As he makes his way through the snow, he hears some music, some loud motorcycles, that really make a distracting element to the entire scene. So we're gonna act like he's not there and go back and reshoot this. Take care. Where when Kevin is walking back, he hears music and it draws him into the church. So he makes his way, crunches through the snow, ends up right inside. Let's go. And now we're in Oak Park, Illinois, here at Grace Church. It was used for the interior of the church scenes for Home Alone, and oh my gosh, unbelievable. It's kind of one of those moments that just takes your breath away a little bit because it's exactly like we saw it from the film and everything. When you see this, you kind of get the understanding of why they chose this place. I mean, I can see the candles, I can hear the choir, and really, this is the kind of place that Kevin needs right now in this moment, a place of rest, almost sanctuary, before all of this other stuff's about to go down. And I think, in my opinion, we get one of the most integral, poignant conversations of Home Alone right up here in this pew. This is the seat. This is the pew where Kevin came to sit down here in a church getting ready for what would be this ultimate battle. But really, this is kind of that gentle moment before we get to that. Because this is the place that Kevin would ultimately meet what would become his guardian angel, even though he didn't know it. In fact, a guardian angel in the most unlikely of people, somebody he was taught to fear by his family and his brothers and his neighbors, Marley, the old man next door. While this movie, yeah, it's about a kid that's left alone, protecting his house and trying to figure out what it means to be like without a family, it really starts to bring to life what this movie is about. We need each other. We're not designed to do this alone, and more so, we're all in need of a little grace. If you think about it, as Marley and Kevin sat here, they both realized they messed up. They made some mistakes. Kevin, maybe he wasn't the greatest kid all year. He was a little worried about the whole Santa thing, and Marley was coming to grips with the fact that maybe he had made some mistakes too. And so here you had these two completely different people, completely different backgrounds, all the way from their age to just even where they were at in their life. And yet they also were juxtaposed in the fact that Kevin at one point wanted his family to go away, and Marley was just longing for his family to come back. And it's right here in this church. And really in that conversation, it kind of gives him that oomph to realize that from here, now he's got to go back and protect the home that represents his family, that he can't wait to be back under the same roof with. And Marley leaves here too with a whole renewed sense of how important his family is. And maybe it's just a matter of a phone call. Maybe it's just a matter of hey, maybe we can patch things up and start over. All of that's found in the sanctuary of this church. It's in this scene that I believe John Hughes was really trying to encourage all of us to remember the importance of Christmas, what it means to all of us.
Where is Curtis?
Oh, right here.
Take care.